Need a diversion, take a drone excursion. Yeah, what's up, guys? I am here at the usual spot at the usual time on a Saturday, and the gardeners are here. Great. Yeah, they're out there making a bunch of noise, blowing around a bunch of dust. Let me just, let's show you. So, at the moment, they're out there just basically occupying our space where we fly. And there's actually somebody out there on the field where we normally fly, which isn't a big deal. I mean, I don't mind buzzing him. It's not that big of a deal. But this guy's out here making a bunch of noise and blowing a bunch of dust around. So at the moment, I feel like I'm kind of just stuck and confined to my car. So until they kind of clear things out a little bit, I'm gonna just do a quick video here. I haven't done a video on a Saturday in a long time. As you may know, I've been in Italy. I've been back almost 2 weeks, but I figured I'd go ahead and give a little advice, a little, share my experience of how it went. And yeah, I just haven't chatted in a while. So yeah, so you probably saw I put out, I think, 2 videos with the footage I got from Italy. And man, I have to tell you, Italy is beautiful. If you get a chance to go. Obviously, it's a huge country, and there's lots of different areas to see and things to do. Basically, we flew into Milan. We got really lucky with our plane tickets. We flew direct from LAX to Milan. We got those tickets, round trip tickets, for like $540 or something, which was partially why we went. It was a really good deal. I'm just noticing this. I'm holding my phone. I'm holding my phone because I'm having it charge off my car at the moment, and the cable's really short, so I'm holding my phone kind of low, and it makes me look like I have a double chin. What's up, guys? Drone excursion with another diversion. That's sexy right there. You see that? Oh yeah. Anyway, I don't normally have a double chin, but this angle is not good. Where was I? Oh yeah, so we flew to Milan. And then we basically just had a rental car for 3 weeks. We drove north into Tuscany. We stayed there for a week at like a B&B, and then we drove. Did I say flew into? No, we drove into Tuscany, and stayed there a week. It was really pretty. That's like the wine country, very hillside like, and vineyards and villas all over the place. Really pretty. It was kind of hot though. I think we were there. There was like a freak heat wave in Europe at that time, and it was kind of hot. But whatever. And then we flew. I keep saying flew. We drove north into like the mountain ranges. As you go further north, you start getting into Switzerland and Austria. It's known as the Alps, but in Italy, the same mountain ranges come all the way down through, and it's called the Dolomites. So yeah, if you see the term Dolomites, that's just basically that whole, thousands of miles of mountain range area that's basically overlapping Switzerland, Austria, and Italy, and probably maybe a little bit of Germany. I don't remember, but yeah, really really beautiful area, especially up there. I was blown away how pretty it was. As you can see in the videos, I was able to capture some really, I feel, really amazing footage. And I put some footage together already for you. I am going to put out maybe 2 more videos with some footage, not necessarily of the Dolomites, but just in general some footage I got from the trip that I found to be very fun and interesting and beautiful at the same time. So yeah, more videos to come. But let me just say a little bit here about when you're traveling with a drone. Okay, I know a lot of people maybe don't fly very much. They fly drones, but they want to maybe do something similar to what I did, and take your drone with you on the plane and all that kind of stuff. Well, there really are some countries that it's illegal to bring a drone to at all. From what I understand, the Bahamas is one of them. They don't let you, so you can't even get it through customs. I could be wrong about the Bahamas, but I think that's true. And there's probably a few other ones that I'm not aware of. But the thing is, you just need to kind of do a little research before you go. Make sure you're even allowed to bring a drone. Otherwise, when you get into their customs agents, they're going to basically, I'm assuming they'll know you have it. If you go through some kind of a security check, and then they're going to take it from you. And from what I've heard is they'll basically just hold it for you, and then on your return, when you go back through customs, you can go and pick it up. But I think they charge like a pretty hefty fee. I've read stuff where it costs like, maybe a couple $100 to go ahead and get it again. And then obviously you can get it back. Well, assuming they're legit and they're not just trying to steal your stuff. But yeah, so you don't want to have to deal with that kind of situation. So just do your research. Make sure you're not going to have a problem through customs, and then so yeah, each country has their own customs regulations, their own laws and stuff. Make sure you kind of read up on that, and all's good there. But then also the airlines have their own rules. Each airline basically has their own rules that govern what you can bring on their planes. I haven't had any issues with any of that. There was we flew on Air Italy, and on their website there was a bunch of complaints and stuff, people saying that they weren't able to bring things on, and the capacity of the luggage, like how big your backpack could be and your luggage could be and the weight and all that kind of stuff. We didn't have any problems at all. And then also the TSA, they have their own regulations, and that's just involving the airport itself. So there's basically 3 different sets of rules that you kind of have to look into and understand before you even decide what you're going to bring. So I brought just one backpack, and I was able to fit a bunch of stuff into it. In fact, I brought too much stuff. I brought 3 drones, 2 freestyle, and my Mavic, and probably, I don't know, a good like 12 or 13 batteries, all sorts of 2 GoPros, all sorts of stuff. I mean, I was able to just pack a bunch of crap in there, and it turns out one of the drones that I actually built for the trip, I specifically built it to go really long range. I didn't even use. I barely used it, because even though it flew well, like, when I was testing it out here before I left, it didn't, the footage on the GoPro looked like junk. Like it had jello in it. It was like vibrating and stuff like that. So that's another thing you need to keep in mind. Like when you bring something, make sure you actually need it, and make sure it actually works the way you need it to, so that you can make the most out of the footage that you get. There's no sense in bringing a drone that shoots a bunch of horrible video and you can't even use the video for anything. So yeah, that drone was kind of a bust, and that was my bad for not confirming that things were gonna look good on the camera. So yeah, whatever. But I had my smooth operator with me, and that is basically what I flew like 90% of the time. I was actually very, very surprised at how far I could fly that thing. That's not necessarily set up for long range. I mean, I do have an R9 system, like receiver and transmitter and all that kind of stuff, so I can go long range. But the antenna placement on that drone is not ideal. The VTX on it is, I think, maybe at 800 milliwatts, so it's not even like the most you can put in there or anything like that. But I didn't have any issues. I really didn't. I went really far. Like, I seriously probably flew a good like 1 or 2 miles a couple times, and like super high, like up these mountains, these cliff sides and stuff. And it's not like the video quality was like amazing on the video feed on my goggles, but it was good enough. So I was good. I was just blown away at how far I could go. And so yeah, so when you fly, if you're going to do that kind of flying, like long range, I think you'll be surprised at how far you can go. If you have either R9 from FlySky, or you have the TBS Crossfire system, you're not going to have any issues with your radio link, how far you can fly your drone. That thing is just going to go and go and go. The only issue you're going to have is going to be your battery. But as far as your video signal goes, I would have to say, as long as you have a VTX that pushes out at least 800 milliwatts, that's what I was running, I don't think you're going to have any issues either. But again, but you will have to have good antennas. Good antenna placement and all that kind of stuff, I think, is the biggest factor in getting good video feed on your goggles. And that's another thing. before I left, my buddy gave me that TBS, what's it called? X Polar. It's a little like a patch antenna looking thing that's supposed to basically replace the two antennas that you would normally have on your goggles. You run both video wires to the one antenna, and it's supposed to, be convenient, obviously, but it's supposed to work really well. And as I was over there in Italy, there was a bunch of controversy as to whether or not that antenna even worked good. If it did what it claimed and all that kind of stuff. And Joshua Bardwell even put out a video while I was over there, basically calling out Trappy and TBS, saying that the antenna doesn't do what it claims and it's not as good as it could be, and those types of things. And it's funny because I had that antenna on my goggles. That was actually the only antenna I had on my goggles. I did a couple of test runs over here in my home area, and everything seemed to work out pretty well, so I felt pretty comfortable with it. But then I watched Joshua Bardwell's video, and he basically explained, the disadvantage to having that antenna. And I was like, okay, now I'm stuck with it. But it actually worked out fine. But I did notice for sure, I noticed that the signal was fine when I was flying out far and everything. As long as it was like a big open area, everything was fine. I think it just functions as a normal like patch antenna, like right-hand polarized like patch antenna. But when I would have a flight where I would actually go up to the mountains and I got a lot of interference. Definitely got a lot of interference. And I think, as he was mentioning in the video, it's when you have both sides connected on the antenna that you have basically not just right-hand polarization, but you have left-hand polarization coming into the same antenna. And that's not necessarily a good thing unless you're using a linear antenna on your quad, and I wasn't. So I, for a couple flights, I actually had to remove the SMA connector on the antenna, on one side of the antenna, so that it was only getting the right-hand polarization and not having the left hand come in and interfere the signal. So anyway, everything Josh was saying about that antenna is true. And so I learned kind of the hard way, but I was able to work around it, and everything worked out fine. But yeah, just back to the gear. You just make sure your gear is working right before you take it, because again, you're limited to what you can bring. You have to bring like your lipos and everything on the plane itself. Like you can't just put them in your luggage. Like that's against the law. Like the lipos could explode on the plane and that kind of thing. So you're required to bring those on the plane, like in your backpack or whatever it is. And so I just basically had one backpack that had those, and then all my drones and everything in it, so it was all together. And so you're kind of limited to what you can bring, and so you just want to make sure that everything you're bringing you actually need, it actually works right, those types of things. So it's a learning experience. I definitely learned a lot of things from this trip. And so everything came together, but I next time I'm going to bring probably almost half of what I brought this time. It was overkill. My bag was super heavy and very inconvenient, kind of a pain in the ass to lug around. So I'll bring less lipos, I'll bring one less drone, anyway, so flying long range, man, that was terrifying. I feel like I know what I'm doing. I've got a lot of practice in now with just flying in general. But up until that trip, I had never flown like long range like that. I've never even done like a building dive. Some guys will go up like tall buildings and just dive straight down and do that kind of thing. I had never even done that before. So as you probably saw in the video, to go up to the top of like a cliffside, fly from the valley all the way up, maybe 5,000 feet high or whatever it is, and then just dive a whole like cliff, like mountainside. Man, that was a new experience, and that was pretty terrifying, I have to say. I mean, it was thrilling, it was awesome, it was amazing, but the thing is, it's like, if you've never done it before, like you're flying in an area you've never been, and you're doing something you've never done, and even though you feel like you got the skills to pay the bills, as Stu would say, those nerves just kick in, and it's like, man, it's hard to control. I did fine, but it's like a total mental challenge, because it's like I was literally shaking, like not on the first flight necessarily, but there was a couple mountains where I was flying. I'm not kidding you, like my legs were shaking. As silly as it sounds, I'm fessing up. I'm not afraid to speak the truth. I was so nervous. My legs were like shaking. Like I was just like, what the heck's going on? I've never even had that happen to me before. But at that point, like I had only one quad that was able to do that kind of thing. I couldn't fly the long range one that I built for the trip. So it was my smooth operator that I was flying for like almost, yeah, actually all those dives that I did. And if I lost it, there it goes. Like there's no way if I crashed I was going to get that thing back. So I did not want to crash. Yeah, because I would have basically just ruined my whole footage that I got from that trip. That I wouldn't be able to get much of anything else except for with my Mavic, which is obviously great footage, but that's totally different than what I was trying to do. So yeah, I don't know, man. Just if you can, if you're looking to do something like that, try to get as much practice in as you can. If there's some buildings near you where you can do some dives, or just go really high, like up in the sky if you can. Like try to stay within the 400-foot rule and all, but just do some dives in the open air. You know what I mean? Just try to when you're coming down, you're trying to dive down, just maybe focus on a spot on the ground and try to keep your quad at the right angle, and just try to keep control of it, focusing on one little spot, and that'll maybe give you some good practice to do those types of dives. Yeah. So anyhow, I'm just trying to just give you a little bit of what I learned from this trip. All right. So yeah, man, it was a blast, but a lot to learn, a lot of nerves to overcome, and all that good stuff. Let's see here. So. Well, what else do I want to talk about? Yeah, so when you're recording on your GoPro or whatever you happen to be recording, try to use a higher frame rate. So I almost always record at 60 frames a second, and I think that is a very, very good basic frame rate, because when you're playing it back normal speed, it looks good. But what you can do is you can cut the playback speed in half, and it still looks really good. It's still at 30 frames a second when you cut it in half, and it gives you that kind of slowed down feel. And that's a great option to have, especially if you're doing proximity stuff, or you're doing mountain dives or whatever. When you slow that footage down, it still looks fantastic, and it just gives it more of like the average viewer. I don't know about you guys, but I try to put out videos that the average person could watch. If my wife can't watch it without getting dizzy, if I go up to a friend at work and I want to share the video with them, I in my head I need to know that they're going to be able to watch it, and they're not going to just be like, oh, whoa, what the heck's going on here? If you're flying all super crazy and it's super fast and all that kind of thing, the average person, I don't think, really wants to watch another video of yours. They're going to just be kind of turned off by it. But anyhow, so if you slow it down, it looks good. It looks really, really, really good. So that's what I did on a lot of the footage on my videos when I put it together and I edited it. A lot of that was slowed down, so it kind of gives it more of a dramatic feel and more of a cinematic feel. And I think that's the type of feel that people are looking for. And whether or not they know it, that'll appeal to their brain better than crazy fast type of flying. Okay, so anyhow, yeah, so shoot in 60 frames a second. On my GoPro Hero 7, I shoot at 2.7K, 60 frames a second. And what that allows you to do is have the highest bit rate. 2.7, from what I understand, is a higher bit rate than if you shoot in 4K. And you want to have a high bit rate so you get the maximum quality from the video. And then, yeah, you can't do a higher frame rate than 60 frames a second at 2.7K anyway. So that's kind of like the basic good all-around shooting video setting that you should use. So that's what I use. Anyhow, try that out, see how you like it. Let's see here. So yeah, I put out a few videos, and on the last one, what did I call it? I don't remember what I called it, but the last one I did, Uh, that I felt pretty proud of. I was very happy with how everything came together. Again, the way I was able to fly, the video footage that I got, and then in my editing skills, I think have gotten better. I'm using Adobe Premiere Pro, and I was able to find a good song and and time everything out. I was super happy with it, and so I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna try this YouTube Premiere feature. I've never done it before. I've seen other guys do it, but it basically allows you to put the video up, but people can't watch until a preset time. So I did that, and it was kind of a bust. I was really thinking and hoping, I have 100 and I think 180 subscribers now. I was really thinking that there would be, I don't know, maybe 10 people that would tune into the premiere, just to watch it live as it premiered and all that kind of stuff. It gives you the option to like chat with people, and it kind of makes it a neat thing. And yeah, there was I think maybe 2 people there, maybe 1. I don't even know. I'm not sure if it was including myself, but yeah. So it was kind of a bust. I was in there trying to chat a little bit, and like not a single person chatted or did anything. So I was like, okay, well, this is kind of lame. But it doesn't really matter. It's a fun way to get it posted anyway. I mean, it just winds up being like another video on your channel after the premiere is over. So it's like, I guess I might as well do it. But I really thought it was going to be better than it was. And to be honest, like if anybody was going to go in there and chat, like even just one person, if they went in there and was just like, hey, I'm excited for this, or good luck or whatever, I was going to totally hook them up with a drone. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, that's the kind of support that I think needs to be rewarded. You know what I mean? Like, it's all about growing the channel, and if there's people that are into it and people that are supporting you and watching your stuff, hook them up. You know what I mean? So anyhow, I still have lots of things to give away, and that was like a perfect opportunity to give something away, and like, I don't know, nobody stepped up to the plate, but that's fine. I'm not like butthurt about it. I was just a little surprised that YouTube, I don't know, I guess maybe isn't good at getting the word out. Again, the whole notification system that they have is kind of stupid. There's all sorts of algorithms that do things that people don't know about, and I don't know exactly what happened, but yeah, I think there was 2 people there, and it was basically a flop. I don't know, I'm starting to realize that YouTube is kind of stupid. I don't know, like I used to do Facebook a few years ago, and it was fun for a while, but then Facebook got to be really stupid, so I just deleted my account. I was over that. That was just a big waste of time. YouTube is still like the standard for like videos and all that, so obviously I have my YouTube channel, and you would think, I mean, the average person, I think, would think, okay, you've got 180 subscribers, you do something like a premiere, there'll be at least a few people there to watch. It doesn't work that way. I mean, I don't really understand how or why, but basically, the amount of subscribers that you have, it doesn't mean much. It really doesn't seem to mean much. I mean, I see people with thousands of subscribers, and when they put out a video, that like the participation, the views, and the comments are still like really low. So I don't know what's going on. If there's like, I'm not sure. I don't know what the deal is, but basically, like Facebook, the amount of friends you have or subscribers or whatever you want to call them, it doesn't mean much of anything. Like, so if you're gonna try to start a channel, just do it because you have fun. Just do it because you like it. You'll get subscribers eventually and all that, but like, don't count on things really happening. Don't count on there being people that are gonna tune in and that kind of thing, because it's just, I don't know, the way that people are notified doesn't really work. And I get it too. Like, people have their own lives, their own schedules, their own things going on. Like, they can't necessarily tune in at a certain time. So I totally get it. But in my head, I'm a little woohoo anyway. I just expected a little more, at least, from the premiere. And I'm not faulting you guys at all. I'm faulting YouTube for not pushing out the notification about the premiere. So anyhow, on that note, just if you're on the channel, if you're seeing this video, just make sure that you enable that bell notification. Once you click on that might help, but I don't even know if that does much anymore. So at least enable the bell supposedly when you have the bell enabled, you get notified for things like that. But who knows? Whatever. So I am actually, I threw that same video up. I just remember the name of it, Peaks and Valleys. Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah, that was what I made, and yeah, I totally forgot what I called it. Okay, yeah, it's called Peaks and Valleys. I put it up on AirViews. I don't know if you guys are aware of that website, but it's basically a place just for like drone pilots, you know, FPV pilots, all those, you know, any type of like video, cinematic footage and that kind of thing, pilots to get that kind of footage, they can put it on this site called AirViews. It's AIRVUZ.com. And it's all just aerial footage, pictures, and those types of things. So it's kind of like YouTube, but it's just specific to, you know, air photography and videography. So I put it on AirViews already. That was my first thing. And it's got a couple views and all, but that's going to be another option for people to get some exposure on your videos and that kind of thing. So we'll see what happens on AirViews. And then also I found just randomly, if you guys are looking into getting into, I don't know, maybe just networking with other drone pilots, there's a really, really good app called Drone Nation. And I just happened to find it in the App Store. Yeah, Drone Nation. And check it out. It's basically it's kind of like YouTube and maybe Facebook, like combined, but it's like specifically just for drone pilots. Like there's no like fluff in there. It's just like there's features in there that allow pilots to network, to create fly spots, to meet up. You know, your profile, you can like pre-assign your video frequencies and all those types of things. It's really neat. You can post videos, you can post pictures, and the community is really, really good. The app, from what I can tell, is pretty new, and there's already probably, I don't know, a couple hundred people on there all over the country. So so far I'm liking it. I put like one or two little video clips on there, and I'm getting good response. I think they call it on there, they call them co-pilots. Like if somebody becomes your friend, you know, they'll be your co-pilot. I think I have 2 co-pilots, just as an example, right? To compare this to, I don't know, Facebook or YouTube. I have 2 co-pilots, which means I have like 2 friends, and the 2 videos I put up have already gotten probably more action, more response, more comments, and all that from that community than I do on YouTube or than I ever did on Facebook. So check it out. I think it's really cool. Drone pilots are just a neat community of people. We all have the same kind of interests, so it's really a fun way to network with them. And yeah, you can become like a teacher and all those types of things. It's really cool. Check it out, Drone Nation. I think you'll like it. It's just a matter of like spreading the word and getting more people on the app. So yeah, Drone Nation's rad. Let's see what else we got going on. Yeah, giveaway. I do want to do another giveaway. I think I will do it on the next video, maybe a week from today. I'm going to do another giveaway. I got tons of stuff to give away, so that's coming. So keep in mind that. Stay tuned. I'm going to have another drone to give away. What else? I tried to write some stuff down. Yeah, I've got more videos coming. I've got maybe 2 more. I think I already said, but maybe 2 more videos coming from the footage I got in Italy. Stay tuned for that. And other than that, I think that's about all I got. I don't want to talk too long. It's already been almost a half an hour. But these freaking gardeners are still out here making noise and making a mess. Ugh. So we got these new gardeners here at the place we fly, and apparently they think that they need to do this on Saturdays now instead of, they used to do it on Fridays. But it's a new crew of guys, and it's like, oh man, this is gonna probably screw up our Saturday fly days, because it's just, I don't know, it's just annoying. Like the noise itself is completely distracting. And then having the guys like walking around you, blowing stuff around, it's like you don't want to inhale that, and you don't want to get in their way, and it's like you're just trying to have fun and stuff. I know it sounds like I'm being a little bitch, because I am. But it's just, you know, when you've got your spot that you can rely on, that you come to all the time, and you don't have to worry about this kind of thing, and then all of a sudden you got this going on, it's kind of a bummer. But I don't know, what can you do? I can't do anything. So anyway, there's a park that's across the street that I've flown over a few times now, and I didn't realize until I flew over it that it's actually really big and probably a good spot to fly. So we may have to start going over there on Saturday mornings and see how that goes, because these gardeners are screwing up my plans. Yeah. Don't they know? Like, don't they realize that this is our spot? You know what I mean? What, should I buzz them? Should I make it obvious that this isn't a good time for them to come? No, they've got their own schedules they have to follow, I'm sure. But okay, well, I can't think of anything else I really want to talk about. Let's see here. Yeah, let's just call it. But yeah, next week, Saturday, I'll do another giveaway. More videos to come. I'll try to throw one of those up maybe later this week. And guys, thanks all for your support. Thanks for watching the videos. Again, this is a fun thing I like to do, and it's really neat when people actually watch it and they understand, and they, you know, everything comes together, and I can share that kind of thing. Because ultimately, I want to get better at editing. I want to get better at flying. I want to get better at all this. My end goal here is to be like a professional, right? I want to be hired for doing this type of stuff. I want to be able to put out my own kind of things like this that people are blown away by. And I want to organize trips. You know, that's why I call the channel Drone Excursion. I'm gonna organize actual like weekend trips and getaways and excursions based on flying drones. That's what I'm all about. So the more this comes together, the more my skills come to be, you know, professional or whatever you want to call it, the better off I'm going to be. Because as soon as I'm done here at UPS, which is only about 6.5 years away, it's all about drones. I mean, as silly as it sounds, but it's all about spreading the love and organizing trips and having fun with some fellow co-pilots. So yeah, guys, that's what I'm here trying to do, man. So okay, let's call it. I keep saying I'm gonna call it, but then I keep running my mouth. Verbal diarrhea, man. I'm telling you, it's like as soon as you think you're done, like it just keeps coming out. Oh man, what the heck? All right, guys. Oh yeah, what I got in my pocket here? Okay, I'll sign off with a little snack. So I don't really do the meat thing. So what have I got here? I've got this hickory smoked fake jerky. It's like soy jerky. Ooh, does that look yummy to you? Probably not. And then I've got some string cheese. Ooh, it's been in my pocket for a little while. It's kind of getting a little warm. Okay, I better eat that. All right, I'm going to have a little snack. I'll let you guys go. It looks like my buddy Dave is just showing up actually right now. He's going to be bummed out that we've got people on the way, but whatevs. We'll work around it. All right, guys, have a good day. Have a good weekend. If you need a diversion, take a drone excursion. I keep looking over here because I have my phone flipped upside down. Normally I have the mic, or not the mic, but the video camera on this side, but it's right there. Hello! All right, I'm a dumbass. See you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye.